What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, here to do an 11/11 twin flame reading. If you're new to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click the like, comment, and subscribe and share button, all the buttons, the bell notification icon as well. You can come join me for a free live tarot reading sometime. All the other information you need to know is in the description box below, so you can check that out as well. Also, just really quick, because this is a twin flame reading, I will have a link in the description to a video that I made where I discuss my interpretation of what a twin flame reading is, so I don't have to rehash all of that here. I know there's a lot of opinions on the internet about twin flame relationships, and in my experience, in my personal experience, and in my my own research and study, a twin flame relationship is not simply based on synchronicities, like seeing 11/11. It's not, or seeing someone's name or whatever the synchronicities are. It's not based on the intense chemistry that you have with somebody, whether it's physical. Even if you have certain spiritual elements that are kind of intense or rare, I think you can have and experience those in other types of relationships, soulmate relationships, karmic relationships, whatever you want to call it. So just to give you a quick, brief description of it without going into the full video that's obviously posted in the description. I believe that a twin flame relationship is predominantly based on a spiritual purpose. Yes, I do believe that this is somebody, who energetically, perhaps on a soul level, depending on what you believe, is a mirror or, literally a twin. So it's like at one point in time, pre-incarnation, meaning before you incarnated, you perhaps shared, one unit of consciousness together, or you were one soul, and then you split into two separate souls that are still energetically tied and connected together, even though you're functioning, you're two separate functioning agents of free will while you're on this planet. And so once you incarnate, you come together, you meet up together because you have a spiritual or divine purpose. In other words, you're not just meant to meet together in this lifetime strictly for just love or romance. There's a higher purpose beyond that. I'm not saying that the love or the romance isn't a part of it, nor am I saying that even the lessons that we're meant to learn from the relationship are a part of it, because those lessons are important for evolution. Because I believe that the reason that the twin flame relationships are more rare than not is because you basically have two people who have a spiritual destiny, a spiritual purpose, who come together, and you're meant to do something greater together than the average ordinary person. So like, for example, if your neighbor, Bob and Sally, are married and they have a family and kids and a dog and a cat and their house, and they work their 9-to-5 jobs, and they take, trips to Disney every year, and, they have a standard, soulmate type of relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing that, but that might be it. That's just the life that they're living. Whereas I believe a twin flame connection really is about two people coming together to do something to improve the collective race, the collective race of human beings, the collective consciousness of humanity. Okay. So I just want to preface that, just to kind of set the tone or the expectation of how I'm defining a twin flame relationship. So if that doesn't resonate with you, or if you want to go watch the other video that I linked, just to hear a more in-depth interpretation of what I believe it is based on my own experiences and based on my own research, like I said, the link for that is in the description. So on to the reading. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull on this video is intended, the idea, I should say, or the intention of this video is meant to do a reading assuming that you have already met your twin flame. So this reading is not meant for somebody who doesn't know who that person is. In other words, if you're single or if you're in a relationship with somebody else and you don't know who your twin flame is, then this reading probably won't resonate with you, because it's meant, this is intended for people where you've met your twin flame, you know who they are, or at least you feel pretty certain, like you're 95% sure you know who they are, and you're you're here to get information about your relationship with them, right? So that's who this reading is for. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at your side. I'm going to pull energy on your side to see where you are in the twin flame dynamic. And then we're going to pull energy on them to see where they are in the twin flame dynamic. And then I'll pull some bridging energy to see where, how your energies are, or how basically your energies are aligning with each other. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this deck here, okay, this purple deck here, this is you, the watcher, okay? So if you're watching this video, this represents you. So we're going to put you over here on the left side here of the video. Now this other deck is your twin. So this is the person that's probably not watching this video, all right? And so they're going to be over here on the right. All right. And then, like I said, we will pull some other information, some bridging information to see where you guys are at. So before we do that, I'm going to start off by just pulling 2 cards from this. It's actually a twin flame oracle deck. And we're going to see where you and your person are individually really quick, just as an overall energy, okay? So let's take a look at your energy first and see where you are. So this is for the watcher. Give me the twin flame energy for my viewers, please. Where are they at in this journey right now? For the 11/11 November portal here. Okay, so you guys are standing in the breakthrough energy. You may be seeing the number 55 or 55 or repeating fives. And so this card says processing karmic debris. Now, I don't have these cards memorized. In fact, this might be the first time I've ever used this deck in a reading. So I'm going to have to read that. But let me get the other card out for your twin here. So what is the collective? Now, again, this may or may not resonate. The roles could be reversed for some of you. Keep that in mind. So if it sounds like they are the ones, if I describe something and it's on your side, the left-hand side, but that sounds like that's what's going on for them, or vice versa, then of course flip the energies. So they have remember your identity. And the energy says you can do it. They may be seeing the number 22, or they may see the number 2 repeating. All right, so that's their energy. All right, and at the bottom of the deck, your bridging energy between these two is divine order. It's also 2-2. And it says practice patience. So right now, you guys may have to be patient with each other if you're in union with this person, or if you're in separation, depending on where you at in your dynamic, it's calling for patience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bridging card from the bottom of the deck, and I'm going to stick it right up here in the middle. And then I'm going to set this aside. And we're going to take a look and see here what the 5-5 is for you. So you are in breakthrough. So that's, again, I don't have this memorized. So your energy says, the collective, breakthroughs are taking place. Letting go is getting easier. and you are feeling lighter and gaining clarity, it is a good time to evaluate your life and continue to release things that are weighing you down. Make sure to stay focused on how far you have come versus how far you have to go. This card indicates that you are rapidly shifting your physical reality, creating additional karmic debris that requires processing for expanded awareness. You may feel like you're going backwards, but you're only going deeper within the program. Going deeper within to reprogram old patterns while taking actions to support your new identity. Take time to process your awareness once you can see that the underlying lessons accelerate personal growth. If you are feeling resistance to change, keep in mind that the greater the resistance, the more pronounced the breakthrough. Clearing away karmic debris will provide higher realms of consciousness to help you adapt to sudden shifts. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and emotions as they offer revelations to facilitate even bigger breakthroughs. So I feel like what this is basically essentially saying is, if we had to summarize this message, is pay attention to the resistance that you feel as you work on your own thoughts, beliefs, your patterns, and essentially as you go through any period of introspection. So it's essentially kind of, it's suggesting that introspection is needed as well as a level of self-awareness in order for you to see where your resistance is, where in your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, your actions, where do you feel that karmic energy, right? And so you can identify it, because if you can't identify it, we don't have the self-awareness to identify it. How can we get rid of it? How can we break free from it? So let's take a look at your partners here. They are all right. Had to find the where in the booklet is. Okay, so remember your identity, you can do it. So this is for them. Your quest for fulfillment requires an exploration of your inner self. So more introspection, more self-awareness. The goal is for you to discover who you truly are. The path to divine love is not straight. This zigzag pathway is a repetitive process sending you deeper within to revisit things you thought you understood. This pursuit helps you gain an even higher perspective as you remember your identity. This card indicates that you are feeling weary and not sure if you can continue your quest for divine love. Feeling lost can make you feel like giving up, but stay the course. You can do it. Looking outside of yourself will exhaust you, but don't quit, because you have been searching in the wrong place. True love exists within you. The purpose of your intense chaos is to trigger you to gain clarity. Doors may be closing, chapters are completed, leaving you wondering how you will move forward, but know that you are on the authentic path and is leading you toward great love. It's important to express gratitude for the lessons that your twin flame is teaching you, which help you discover a deeper love and self-acceptance. So you're essentially focused on self-awareness in terms of realizing your patterns and what areas of your life are creating resistance. They're focused on figuring out who they are as a spiritual being, and maybe realizing things that were shown to them through you, since you are essentially mirroring back to them the reflection of these things. So they're needing to basically find their true spiritual identity, so they can essentially get out of the matrix and go, and start stepping more into the authenticity of their true identity or their spiritual identity. In fact, I'm going to post another link in this video, or in the description of this video, that's called the 5 Stages of Awakening. And it's to me, it's one of the best descriptions of the spiritual awakening process, the 5 stages. And I think that the twin flames, and even those who aren't, go through this phase, but it's very profound. I think it's very relevant to this reading, especially to what they're going through. So that'll just be an additional resource I'll post in the comments or in the description box of this video, so you guys can check that out as well. All right, so let's take a look at the bridging energy here. So the divine order energy here. So this is the bridging energy between you. So this is where you guys The initial descriptions were you guys individually. This is how your energies, where your energies bridge as twin flames in terms of your entanglement with each other, whether you're together or not. So this applies whether you're together or not, but their energy plus your energy equals the bridging energy, if that makes sense. So patience is the ultimate virtue. You are experiencing many challenges that teach you tolerance, trust, and timing, all requiring you to practice patience, a major life lesson that you must master for your soul to evolve. This card suggests that you release control and allow divine guidance to direct you, which demonstrates that you trust the process. Practicing patience will enhance your ability to connect with your senses and teach you to let go of the idea that you are the only one who can achieve what you perceive as perfect or the right way. This card implies that you need to get out of your own way by releasing logical concepts and surrender control, creating space for you to receive blessings that will far exceed the expectations of your mind. Rushing the process will cause you to make hasty decisions. This diminishes your ability to create at your highest capacity. Make a commitment to exercise self-control, which will enhance your ability to live more consciously in the present moment so you can attract your greatest potential. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's take a look now. I'm going to take a look at the overall energy for you. Like what are you guys needing to focus on the most right now? My viewers here, what are they needing to focus on the most right now during their time in processing here? So the first card you guys have is children. So if some of you have children in a literal sense, you may need to, during this time, you may need to focus some on your children, just out of necessity or practicality, all of that. Now, for some of you, the children energy here is more about nurturing or tuning into your inner child, okay? And maybe healing inner child wounds, or doing connecting to your inner child, or just realizing that maybe some of you've disconnected or you've lost that childish sense of faith. Like there's a verse in the Bible, I forget what it is, but it's like having faith like a child, because children just believe things, right? Like we have a natural imagination as a child. No one has to teach us to imagine things. And if you tell a child who's still young enough something, they'll believe it, right? You tell them that Santa Claus comes and, comes down the chimney and puts things under the tree. The child may believe that. I know I did until I found out that it wasn't Santa Claus. So children are very impressionable. So we want to be able to tie how do I want to say this? We want to be able to utilize that energy when we need to. Like there are times in our life when we need to be logical and practical and less childish, right? You can't be like a child all the time. That would be irresponsible and unrealistic. But there are times, especially when it comes to our imagination, our faith, and our beliefs, where we need to step out of the matrix programming, the conditioning that we've all been, taught to have as adults, where we go to work and everything has to be about responsibility and practicality and using our brains, and our ego runs the show, and learn how to spend time spiritually speaking and tap into the inner child, where we do have the freedom to imagine our future and our abundance and our successes and the best version of ourselves, and feel the freedom of having that childlike imagination, creation, emotions, feelings, because that's how we heal the inner child. We heal the inner child oftentimes most easily by just releasing and allowing the inner child to express itself, allowing the child to come out. And sometimes the best way to do that is when you're alone or in a safe space, and maybe if you trust somebody enough where you can be around that person and express yourself in that vulnerable way. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That would be ideal. But for those of us who might feel a little self-conscious to kind of step into that role and turn on music and dance like a child, or, however you would express that. Imagine yourself doing things, and just giving yourself that freedom to really be childlike, right? And not have to be just so, responsible or in the adult mindset or the mental frame, right? So I feel that's really more of what the childlike energy is referring to. It's like having faith like a child in tapping into the childlike nature of what true spirituality is, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next energy we have is conquer. So this is a lot like the chariot energy in tarot. This energy is about overcoming obstacles and challenges in your life. And so whatever challenges that you've been having or experiencing, and some of the challenges could just be change in and of itself, because our brains are not wired for pleasure. Our brains are wired for survival. And so many people resist change because we're wired for certainty, right? We say we want things to be different. Like in the world right now, we have, the wars going on and inflation and, all the things that are going on in our world right now that we would say, I don't like this. I don't like the effects that, of all the, the turmoil in the world is causing in my life, because it's causing more stress, more debt, less resources, all these things. We say we don't like those things, and that may be true, but if someone came to you and said, okay, well, here's something you can do to change it, we tend to resist those changes because we're not wired for change. We're wired for security and certainty. We're wired to embrace the known, not the unknown, okay? So the major energy that I have surrounding that conquer card is really about conquering and overcoming the fear of uncertainty, the fear of risk, the fear of doing things differently than you've done them up until this point. Because again, the breakthrough energy is 5 energy. In numerology, 5 is the number of change. Even in tarot, the number 5 is about change or conflict or things being uncertain because you never know what's coming. So if you look up the angel number 555 or the number 55 or just the number 5 in terms of numerology, there could be information there, okay? Now, the conquer energy on a strictly relational level in terms of your twin flame, this could also be saying, hey, stay open to overcoming any challenges that could arise with your twin flame. So if, for example, let's say you're in separation and they reach out or you reunite with them, be aware of any challenges that could show up and be sure that you're ready and you're willing to adapt, be flexible, and overcome any challenges that may show up, so that you don't have to go back into separation because you don't get along or you're fighting or something, right? So that energy could be there or part of it. So let's get your third card here. Second chances. Okay, so now this could go either way. It's very straightforward. This could be either you guys are in separation, or if you're together, maybe you're having a fallout with this person, or you're just there could be tension or turmoil here. Whatever the case may be, this is either you or them wanting a second chance. This could be you hoping that they come back asking for a second chance, or this could be you going to them hoping for a second chance, or it could be them coming to you hoping for a second chance. Depending whichever way you want to roll with the energy in that regard. And it's also alluding that for some of you who've been in separation with your twin for however long, because everyone's on a different timeline, it's an indication that they could be coming back soon to reconcile for a second chance. So if you've been apart from them for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, however long it's been, they could be coming back hoping to reconcile with you soon. So let's take a look at your twin here, your partner. Let's see where they're energetically focused right now. Where are they energetically focused? Okay, travel. This could be literal travel or it could be metaphorical travel. I'll show you the card just 1 second here. So this could be, if it's metaphorical, then this basically means that they're going through they're moving forward in their spiritual journey. Like they're on a journey, or they're taking a trip, if you will. And I mean that spiritually, right? So it's essentially saying that they're still in motion. They're still in progress. They're still a work in progress. They're still in process. Like they are going through, it's like the car is moving, right? Like if you get on a bus or a train or a plane, whatever, doesn't matter. And you left the station, or you left, the plane took off and you're in mid-flight, right? So that's kind of the energy. They're in mid-flight right now. They're going from where they were in their spiritual journey, and they're on their way to the next level. They're on their way to the next destination. So that could be the metaphorical energy. Now, in a literal sense, it can mean that your person, your twin travels, or they live at a distance from you, or there's been some degree of space between you guys, literally or metaphorically in that regard as well. Or it could also mean that they're planning to come see you with that second chance energy here. They're wanting to travel toward you, okay? So all those are possibilities. Let's take a look and see what else. Okay, investments. So their focus right now, I know it's kind of hard to see the wording, but they could be focused on their investments right now. And that could be anything. I do feel like that this is a physical or tangible energy. I don't feel like this is metaphorical. I feel like they could be focused on their work, their business, their money. They could be focused on their assets. Like, maybe they just, if it's travel, maybe they move from one location to another location. Maybe they bought a new house, so they're moving from one home to another home. They could be focused on, maybe they're having car problems, or they just purchased a new car, or they're having to pay off debt related to car, any asset they have, okay, which could be cars, houses, business, taxes, debt, anything that's an investment in terms of a lot of money to a minor amount of money, okay? I mean, it could basically be, they're trying to, make extra money to save up for Christmas presents because Christmas is coming up. But, at the end of the month, we have Black Friday, right? The biggest shopping day of the year or whatever, right? So it could be things of that nature. Now, on and again, I feel like that energy is definitely more of a practical, like it's very literal. But if there is a metaphorical or a spiritual energy tied to that, I would say that they're making investments in themselves. Like they're trying to improve themselves in their own personal development, which is part of the travel energy I was talking about. They're in mid-flight. So, they're not the same person that they were the last time that you spoke to them or saw them. They've made some degree of change. Now, how much, I don't know. But they've made some changes, or they've come to some type of realization that's different than the last version of them that you saw them in or that you connected with them in. Okay? So there has been some investments, some spiritual investments made since you last connected with them. Would be the metaphorical or spiritual energy tied to that. Okay, so let's get one more for them. Yeah, everything that I just said tied to the awakening. They're going through a spiritual awakening. So everything that I've said so far about them being mid-flight in their spiritual journey, going from their old self to the new self, they're not there yet, but they're on their way. They're making that spiritual investment in themselves, and they're going through a spiritual awakening. All right. So the bridging energy between you guys in this deck at the bottom of the deck is the shadow self. This is the same thing as the devil card in tarot. So this has everything to do with the dark side: temptation, lust, addictions, codependency, control, vices, anything, any type of extreme that we feel powerless or we feel controlled by, whether we're aware of it or not. It's anything that we give our power away to that controls us. And this could also just mean that you guys, again, you're feeling each other in a very, you feel, shackled to each other, even if you're not around each other. You think about each other all the time. You might obsessively think about each other. You might dream about each other. You might feel each other's energy. It just may be constantly your twin is on your mind, on your mind, on your mind, on your mind. And again, you see the synchronicities all the time. You have memories. You're being triggered by something, even if you don't live around them, but something's triggering you. You go to sleep. They show up in your dreams. It's like you can't even get a break there. It's like, it's just this constant bombardment because you're joined to this person on a soul level and an energetic level. No matter how far apart you are, that quantum entanglement is still activated. And so you may be picking up on their energy. They may be picking up on yours. Okay. And due to the extreme nature of that energy, it can feel very overwhelming, right? If not borderline toxic. But unfortunately, when you encounter your twin flame, there's not an easy way to turn that off, right? So that's the only thing, unfortunately. It's part of the journey, and we have to go through it and experience that until we level up to where we're not so affected by it. Okay, so let's go ahead. And what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start on we're going to take a little deeper into the energy on your side here. So again, this is you, and the other deck will be for them. So let's take a look. What else do my viewers need to know about their twin flame connection right now? What else do they need to know right now? For my collective viewers about this twin flame connection, what else do they need to know? Okay, we got the Ten of Cups. Now it's interesting because that's the first card that came out, and you had the children energy with as your first card up here. So we have children, it's tied to that Ten of Cups. So you could have children with this person, even if you're, or if you don't have children with this person, but they have children or you have children, then those children could be an important part of your twin flame union. Because remember at the beginning of the video, I said when I was describing, for me, what the most important ingredient that separates twin flame relationships from soulmate relationships, karmic relationships, or any other relationship is that spiritual purpose. So you guys part of your spiritual purpose may be those children. So if you have spiritual children who may be spiritually gifted, they could be highly sensitive, they could be empathic, they could be, they could be, mediums, psychics. They could have certain types of spiritual gifts that, whether you realize it or not, or whether you've seen those characteristics or traits within them yet, they could have those gifts, or they could have some other profound gift. And so you and your twin flame, being that you guys are supposed to be at a higher spiritually awakened level, if you guys are not able to come together and have that healthy dynamic, then those children may not grow up with the level of spiritual mentorship that they need to cultivate their spiritual gifts, because they're the next generation coming up underneath us. And maybe that child or those children were meant to be the next greatest world changers, or the greatest innovators, or the greatest philosophers or teachers or healers or mystics, whatever, they could be the next greatest whatever. And so there's something about that to this. Okay. And I don't know, obviously this is a collective reading. I don't know where that lands for you all, but there's something about the importance of children to at least some of you out there, in terms of you or your twin or both of you needing to be role models, teachers, and mentors for their spiritual development, because they have a spiritual calling on their life. They're a unique spiritual being with unique spiritual gifts and talents that might be unusual, and they're not going to know what to do with it, and they're not going to know how to handle it. And if they get thrown out to the wolves, aka the Matrix, they're going to get chewed up and spit out, and they're going to feel like a freak. They're going to feel like weirdos. They're probably going to, feel like they have mental illnesses. They're going to be rejected. And their life is going to be very difficult. Whereas if they had a safe, healthy, vulnerable place where they had, two people who cared about them and loved them, who were training them, mentoring them, and being leaders in their lives to show them how to be confident and secure in their identity, so that when they grow up, they can go out there and they can deal with the Matrix world, and they can deal with the pressures and rejections and the criticisms and all the things that are going to come their way for being unique and different than the rest of the world. Then that may not happen for them. Okay, so I needed to emphasize that. Now, the other thing with this energy, the Ten of Cups is the most love that two human beings can experience in tarot. That's how I describe this card. So this is essentially on your side. You're feeling the intensity of this connection to your twin. Okay, you're feeling this energy, this intense energy with them. That this is your bottom line. Like this is your end game. This person is, you want the forever with them. You have this deep love for them. Even if you've said you don't want it, even if you're like, this relationship's been so hurtful, so painful, so toxic, and the ego is just full force. You out loud, you reject it. But inside your heart, I love this person. Then nothing will ever make me not love this person. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they do. There's like this unconditional love that's in my heart for this person. No matter what comes out of my mouth, no matter how much I want to reject it, run away from it, criticize it, throw shade at it, whatever. You have an overwhelming sense of unconditional love for this person. And it's coming from your soul, not your head, not your ego. The next card we have is the Seven of Cups. So I feel like right now you're very confused about your current situation. You're confused about where you stand with this person or what's going to happen, what's going to come up. Some of you may not be sure what you want to do. You're not forced. No one's forced to be with anybody. Free will trumps everything. So a lot of you may be, in some cases, wondering if you want to wait around for this person. Some of you may be thinking about other options in love and relationships. Some of you have mixed feelings and emotions. Some of you are daydreaming about this person. Some of you are just focused on other things, or maybe you're trying to distract yourself by focusing on other things. Okay. So there's several different options of what that could look like there. So let's get one more for you guys. Can't make this up. Now we got the Ten of Pentacles. Now you got both tens now. You got the Ten of Cups, which is the most love two human beings can have. Now you get the Ten of Pentacles, which is, for me, the happily ever after card. So now, and the reason I say it's the happily ever after card, because in this card, the Ten of Cups is implied. It's implied. So in the Ten of Cups here, you already had the man, the woman, and the two children. Well, now you still have the man, you have the woman, you got the kids and the dog, but now you got the money, you got the pentacles, you got the house, you got all the things. And so I feel again that this is just confirmation that you really, on your side, your desire and what you really long for is a lifetime with this person. Like, for you, it's just, there's no there's no argument. It's like, if you were really honest with yourself, again, even if you're pissed off or your ego's like, no, screw them, I don't want anything to do with them, and you tell everybody you're done, and even if you go to bed at night pissed off and you're like, you know what, I hope I never see them again, I wish they would just, leave me alone, I wish this energetic connection or this cord would be severed, like, no matter how you feel, no matter what negativity you may have, and I'm not saying I'm not saying all of you have that negativity, I'm just saying if you do, it doesn't matter. Your heart and your soul, deep down, would choose this person. If they came to you and they were whole, they were healthy, and you knew that this person showed up in your life, that second chance energy, they came to you and they're like, listen, I'm tired of running from you. I don't want to be apart from you. I love you with all my heart. You're the person I want to spend my life with. I know that we've done things, or maybe I've done things, or this relationship hasn't been the best. I'll do whatever it takes to make this work. You're my person. I do not want to live a day. I don't want to live one more day without you in my life. Like I want you in my life for the rest of my life. And whatever we're here to do, whatever our spiritual purpose is, whatever we were created to come into this life together and team up to accomplish, I want to do that. I feel like you guys would take that in a heartbeat. It wouldn't matter if you were with somebody. I feel like you would break up with that person and you would take this person back in a heartbeat under the right conditions. Now, do I recommend or suggest that you do that if somebody comes back in anything less than coming back under the right conditions? Absolutely not. For me, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you label your relationship, twin flame, soulmate, whatever. I don't care. I don't care how you label your relationship. Toxic is toxic. And if you're a toxic relationship should be a non-negotiable, period. I don't care who you are. If you are in a toxic relationship, that should be a non-negotiable. So I personally, as a relationship coach and expert, I only support healthy relationships. Doesn't mean that I don't help people change the relationship from toxic to healthy. I'm saying that, my value system, I will not tolerate being in a toxic relationship, nor would I recommend or tell, my clients or my customers and the people around me to tolerate a toxic relationship. There should be no room to tolerate anything toxic. If it can't be whole and healthy, then it just doesn't need to be right now. And if, this person can get their crap together, or you get your crap together, and you can come back together down the road, and it can be healthy. Okay, well then we've got a healthy relationship, and that's fine, and that's what it should be. But if it's toxic, then for me, in my opinion, that should be a deal breaker. But that's just me. Okay, so your bridging energy at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups is underneath that. It's just a little extra. I saw it there, so I thought I'd mention it. And underneath that, we have the Devil again. Okay. Now, because I'm talking tarot, some of you might be dealing with the Capricorn. Doesn't have to be, but I'm just going to mention it because it's major arcana for Capricorn. And we have the Shadow Self here, which, like I said, is the Devil energy. So it came up here again, which is just double confirmation of what I said earlier in the video. But the top level energy at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. So your bridging energy here is you're still holding on to this person, but you're also guarded and you're holding back. Okay. So that's your bridging energy here. Some of you could also be focused on work, money, and finances, and that's more of a practical energy. Okay. This is a little bit different than a typical, I'm reading this a little bit different than a typical tarot read. All right. Okay. So that's yours. Now let's take a look at them. Now this was the deck for them here. Okay. So let's take a look at their first card here. Let's see where they're sitting. Okay, so they have the Ace of Pentacles. So they could be focused on their money, their finances, They could be focused on a new job or looking for new opportunities. But this is also, in terms of the twin flame dynamic, especially with that second chances energy that we have, this is them wanting to, regardless of whether or not they do it, because I can't control what people do. I can't control people's free will, but energetically, this person wants to come towards you and make a solid offer. They want to come towards you and basically extend an olive branch, and they're wanting to do it in a solid, stable way, right? This isn't flaky, this isn't, it's not like it's not a breadcrumb. It's coming to you with something stable, like the real deal. Okay. Now it is just the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So it may not be some grand display of they may not show up at your house with a boombox over their head like that 80s movie Say Anything, playing In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel, blasting it through the whole neighborhood, as romantic as that would be. But they definitely want to come towards you with something that's stable. And I think it's because they're probably done running. I think they're probably done feeling that same energetic pull that's been wearing on them. And I think they're wanting things to be different between the two of you. It's like, let's make this work somehow. Can we lay these bricks? Pinnacles being anything tangible. It doesn't have to just be money. Can we lay these bricks? Can we lay these pinnacles, these bricks, and build something solid, right? So let's see what the next energy is. Okay, so the next energy is the Star. Hopefully I don't get flagged for this because I don't have something to cover it up. So this is them. I'm going to slip this underneath this one because it is a little bit, there we go. It's going to look a little off on the camera, which annoys me, but I don't have anything to cover it up. And God forbid I get flagged for it with the YouTube Nazis. But the Star is about hope, faith, renewal, healing, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's also their wish come true. Now, this could be Aquarius energy as well. So as mentioned before, with the Devil and Capricorn energy, you could be dealing with an Aquarius. It doesn't have to be, just putting that out there. So this is, again, I feel like this is them. Either, this is also tied to that second chance energy as well. But I feel like this is them hoping and wishing that, they can bring this pentacle to you and that you guys can start laying a new foundation. But I think this is also them healing and having a realization and a revelation, going back to that travel energy, because in the sequence of the major arcana, the Tower card happens before the Star. So the fact that the Star is on the table implies that a tower has occurred in this person's life, if not multiple towers. So this person has gone through probably some, to be quite frank, they've probably gone through a lot of shit since the time that you guys have been apart, however long that is. They may have had multiple towers, and the tower, as much as it blows up life and is as scary as they can be, and they're not always bad, but when they are bad, or when the bad ones come, they're usually pretty bad. Like, it's pretty destructive. But the purpose of the tower is not just to cause you pain and suffering. It's to tear down something that can no longer stand, things that no longer serve you, old structures that have no purpose in your life. But again, because we are wired for certainty and security and survival, we'll do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. Those towers have to force us out of our comfort zone. So imagine Rapunzel, the story of Rapunzel in the tower and how she lets her hair down so that the prince can come up and save her. Well, imagine there's no prince and Rapunzel's in the tower, and the prince shows up and is like, hey, let your hair down and I'll get you out of the tower. And she's like, no, like, I want to come down there. I want to be down there with you, but I'm not coming out of this tower. It's too scary. But then imagine the tower, getting hit, or like the traditional tarot imagery, lightning strikes the top of the tower and people are shown flying out of the top of the tower. That's what the original artwork looks like on that card. So imagine Rapunzel getting literally blasted out of the tower, where lightning strikes the top of the tower. Maybe it catches on fire and she's like, crap, if I stay in the tower, I'm going to die. And the longer she stays in there, the tower starts crumbling. She can feel that it's going to crumble soon. So now she has no choice. She's going to have to let the prince help her out of the tower, or she's just going to have to put her hair out of the tower and, scaffold her way down or something, right? That's essentially what's happened to this person. But in tarot, after the tower, you have the star, because the star is about, hey, you've gone through this hell. Now you can see the light. Now there's hope. There's faith. There's this inspiration for a new beginning. There's a light at the end of the tunnel here. And I feel that that's what this person is. That's where they're at in that mid-flight energy. They're moving towards their North Star, which is you. You are their wish. You are their hope. As they're ascending in their spiritual journey, they're also moving towards you simultaneously. Okay, if I can say it that way. So make no mistakes about it. You may be thinking that this person is off doing something, seeing other people, whatever they're doing, and they don't give two craps about you. They don't think about you. You may think that, well, I'm the only person here, I'm probably the only person who's even thinking about them. They're probably not thinking about me. They probably don't give a crap, blah, 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 blah. All the negative stories are probably you may have in your mind, right? That's not true. This person is definitely thinking about you. Now, whether they're telling people about it or whether you have any clue about it, whether you haven't seen or heard from them, not a peep, nothing, they can have you blocked on everything. It may just seem like it's dead, done, over with, and that's it. This star is saying that's not true. Okay. And it's also indicating, especially with that Ace of Pentacles being there, it's very, very, very probable that you're going to hear from this person. Now when, I don't know. We don't have that type of energy on the table yet for me to give you a certain time frame, but they definitely want to communicate with you. Okay. The next card we have is the Queen of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. You could be dealing with that sign. Doesn't have to be. This person's got a lot of feelings for you. All right. They got a ton of emotions for you. They feel very emotional during this time right now. They're feeling very sensitive, very vulnerable, very raw. But again, with all of the emotion that they're experiencing in this cup and is filling up, and she's holding this cup full of emotion, eventually, and again, that's the spiritual work that they're doing with this travel energy and the star here. The water that this woman is getting out of that river, it's like it was the same water that's being poured into this cup. That's the healing water of emotion. That's the healing water of love and hope that's now being poured into this person's heart and soul, which is inspiring them and motivating them to move towards you with that pinnacle. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, we have, you guys aren't going to believe this. I literally have chills. You guys aren't going to believe this. They're bridging, crossing energy. Guess the card. We can call it the Rapunzel card. The Tower. You guys, you can't make this crap up. There it is. What did I say? The star implies the towers happen. They're bridging energy, the bottom of the deck. They've gone through this tower. And again, this could have been recent, or they may have gone through multiple towers. But whatever's happened in their life, their bridging energy is this tower. Their old ways, their old paradigms, their old beliefs, everything that's old, anything that was holding them back had to be torn down. Rapunzel had to get blasted out of the tower, because even though she could have got out of the tower on her own if she really wanted to, she was like, no, I'm going to stay up here in the tower. I don't want to go through this spiritual awakening crap, blah, 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 blah. Ego, safety driven. So the universe, God source of the universe says, sorry, that's not what you signed up for. You contracted into this life, you incarnated to meet your twin flame, and you can't stay here. Regardless of whether you end up with your twin flame or not, I'm still blasting you out of this tower because you've outlived this, you've outgrown this. This is not, you weren't made to live this way, you weren't made to think this way or behave this way, you weren't meant to play small. And it's in your contract, whether you see it or realize it now because you have spiritual amnesia, it's in your contract. And so the universe is not doing anything against their will. It's not out of anger. It's not out of spite. It's not out of resentment or anything. It's literally, they signed a contract that says, hey, no matter what happens, this is the journey that I want to go on. It's just when we're in these avatars and these bodies, we get spiritual amnesia and we forget that. So we have to be pushed forward sometimes. We're stuck. We get stuck in the mud. We get stuck in the matrix. The matrix is the mud. We got to be pushed out of the mud sometimes to get free so that we can get ahead and keep moving. And then eventually we get to a point in our spiritual journey where we realize all of this. We come to the awareness of, oh man, I was really stuck in the matrix back there. I wasn't really living my best life. I wasn't being true to me. I wasn't being true to my children. I wasn't being true to my twin. I wasn't being true to anything. I was just playing the part of a cookie cutter tax ID number or wherever you live in your country. If you're watching this video, you were just a name. You're a tax ID number living in the program, the matrix. You weren't truly being your awakened self. Well, the universe is like, hey, we made a deal that if you ever got stuck in the mud, I would come in and I would help you out so you could continue on in your spiritual journey. And so it's not personal. It just is what it is. That's their bridging energy. Now, I'll tell you another thing. While that has everything to do with what I just explained, there is another energy attached to the tower, which is something shocking and unexpected happening, which tells me that this second chance energy could happen at any moment. You might hear from your twin flame while you're watching this video. That's how sudden and unexpected this could be. And underneath that, Page of Pentacles, which backs up everything that I said there and backs up everything that I've said with that Ace of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is somebody coming in with that offer. It's almost like up here we got the pentacle coming out of the cloud. There's the hand coming out of the cloud, indicating God's source of the universe is bringing the pentacle, and it's almost like the hand put it in this person's hand. It's like, here you go. Here's the pentacle. Now go find your twin and give it to them. So they're coming in with this solid offer here. They're coming in here with an offer. They want to reconcile. They want to reach out to you. They want to connect with you. But the Page of Pentacles is also the card of the student. They've learned. They're learning. Okay. Don't think for a minute that they're not learning their lessons here. They're learning their lessons. The Star and the Tower definitely indicate that they've learned some lessons here. They got blasted and they got hit with some karma. I don't know what they did. I don't know what it was for, but that Tower moment, something in their life that was not in alignment to the contract or the incarnation for which they came here to live. It wasn't in alignment with them, so they had to get knocked back into their timeline, the appropriate timeline. Those things needed to go away and die or be removed, filtered out, okay? So that's that energy. So what I'm going to do to kind of just bring the whole reading together here is I'm going to pull 3 cards from 2 oracle decks here just to get some closeout advice and energy here. Okay, the first card that came out is flow. So this is about you going with the flow. It's the number 10 card here, which I think is similar to, the Wheel of Fortune. So this is essentially this energy here is saying to go with the flow right now, because destiny and fate are at hand. They're working. Destiny and fate, God's source of the universe, is working behind the scenes to bring you and your twin flame together here. So you need to fret not, you need to fear not. You just need to, on your side, because a lot of the energy pulled on your side was about patience. You just have to be patient and let the universe do its work. Because again, that tower on their side is the only kick in the butt that they need. So they don't need to be motivated. Trust me. I know you might think that that's not true. That tower, gave them all the motivation, put all the fire under their ass that they need to get moving here. Now, again, I can't tell you when, but I actually do have a deck. I'll pull from that deck too. I'll see if we get a time frame, just out of curiosity. But based on the energies on the table, I can't tell you when. But again, with that tower being there, it could be any time. It could be while you're watching this video even. So we have the base chakra, which is all about security. So, survival, security. So, yeah. So this is literally saying, like, on a fundamental level, when the base chakra is out of, when we're not energetically aligned properly with our base chakra, you have people that live in self-preservation. You have people that are just constantly worried about change and fear and the most basic needs, right? Security, money, shelter, food, that kind of thing. So I feel that part of the issue here is like you or this person need to work on your base chakra energy. Well, since you're the one watching, maybe do some look into doing some chakra work on your base chakra, because technically, according to quantum theory and entanglement theory, any work that you do on yourself will carry over to them to some capacity. Now, do I think that it replaces them doing the work themselves? No, I don't believe that. I don't agree with that. But I do feel that the more you work on yourself, the higher vibrational you become, which does pull them up. So as the tides rise, all the ships rise with the tide, right? So you're the water, you're raising the tide, which does energetically or vibrationally help lift them up. Does it do the work for them? No, but it does affect them. So, every little bit helps, right? So then we have lead, which is emperor energy. So this is about you taking the lead of your life right now, you controlling what you can control, knowing what you can't control. It's the serenity prayer, right? Like, it's just stay focused on what you can control, let go of what you can't control, and don't worry about what they're doing, when they're going to do it. Stay in your lane. Don't worry about what's happening in their lane. God's source of the divine's got them under control. You just stay in your lane and you focus on being the leader of your life. Now, this is also the divine masculine because it's emperor energy. So that could just be saying that you may be the divine feminine in this connection, or the empress energy, and they may be the divine masculine. Okay. So that could just be making some correlations there. And then at the bottom of the deck, the bridging energy here is refusing to see. Now, I feel like this is where they were. This is where they were before the tower. And you notice he's wearing this helmet, and there's the third eye. He's looking down, his eyes are closed, and the third eye has this helmet. It's like, but it's made out of like stone or metal or something. So it's like, it's not that helmet is blocking the natural ability for the third eye to be awakened. So this person, essentially saying this person hasn't been trusting their intuition. They haven't been listening to their intuition. They haven't been trusting or listening to the synchronicities and signs they've been seeing, nor have they been listening to God's source, the universe, or spirit, which is why they got blasted right out of the tower, because you get so many chances where the universe is like, hey, They start shaking you. Are you listening? And they tap you on the back of the head a few times. Then they smack you on the back of the head a few times, and you're still not listening. It's like, all right, we gotta do something. We gotta go up to this next level. I don't want to have to go up here. It's kind of like when I was growing up, and my parents like, I don't want to have to spank you, because you didn't listen. I told you once not to do it, and then I got to tell you a second time. I had to raise my voice and tell you I really mean it. If you do this again, you don't listen to me, you're going to get your butt tore up. That's how I was raised. I got spanked. And then, you didn't listen. Well, now you're going to have to get your butt tore up. That's what happened. I got spanked because I didn't listen. So it's like they had 3 strikes, strike 3, they were out because they weren't listening to spirit. So they got the tower moment. All right. So now let's get 3 more cards and then we'll close here. And hopefully this reading makes sense for you guys. I know that these twin flame relationships can be very complicated, very tumultuous, very toxic, but they can also be very beautiful if and when you can work through that energy. And it does take a lot of courage to do so because you're confronted with a lot of uncomfortable energy, and most people don't have the strength, the resilience, or the courage to tolerate that level of discomfort for any amount of time. Most people want instant gratification. They don't want to sit in that energy, much less be around somebody who basically triggers all of their triggers, even if the other person doesn't mean to, right? So let's get 3 more cards and a bridging card. So yeah, we have positive movement forward. This is great. Yeah, this is tied to the travel energy and everything I was saying. Things are moving forward whether you see it or not. Plain and simple. Well, I just dropped it on the floor. Things are moving forward whether you see it or not. Movement is happening. Okay? There's no such thing as stagnant energy. Energy is in motion whether or not, whether we believe it or not. Now, there's energy that obviously moves at different rates, but it's always doing something. Just like how energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it can only transform. It's always moving. Okay, harmony, yeah. So now we have harmony. This is, again, positive energy. Things are coming into balance. Harmony is like temperance energy. Things are beginning to come into balance here. Extremely positive energy moving forward. So we got positive movement forward. What direction is that positive movement forward energy going? It's going into harmony. So you're coming into harmony. Your energy, again, whether you realize it or not, is coming into alignment. It's coming into alignment. Now, am I going to say that this is for everybody out there? No. Some of you guys are on a different timeline with your twin flame. This is a collective read, though. So I'm going to say, this could be 70 to 75% of, the mass viewers that find this video. And the other 30 to 25%, this video may not resonate with you. Yeah, and then we have the universe. So God's source of the universe, your guides, whatever you believe in, it's like Santa and the elves. So what does Santa do all year? What is he doing all 364 other days of the year when it's not Christmas? Well, he's living in the North Pole and he's keeping tabs on everybody, which is kind of creepy. He knows who's been naughty or nice, which is kind of creepy. Sounds like Clay Aiken to me, that song that he sings. If I was invisible, I would just watch you in your room. That's Santa Claus. Santa Claus is basically Clay Aiken. And he keeps a list, and he checks it twice to know if you've been naughty or nice, right? So essentially the universe has been keeping tabs on all of this. The elves have been working on all the toys, on all the gifts, getting everything ready so that he can load up all the gifts for 8 billion people on the planet, and he can fly across the world in 24 hours and deliver presents to 8 billion people, give or take, on Christmas. And that's essentially what the universe is doing here. The universe has been on top of this the whole time. The universe knows what's going on. The universe knows what you've needed, what they've needed, and what you've both needed to bring this energy together. So basically, going back to the very first card here, this children card, is you just need to have faith like a child. You just need to have a little bit of blind trust in knowing that the universe has your back and it's all going to work out one way or the other. That may or may not be easier said than done. I get it. But again, can't make this up. Last card at the bottom of the deck, the bridging energy, is fulfillment of wishes. Come hell or high water, one way or another, your wishes will come true. Now, I know some of you are saying, but I wish my wish is for them. I understand that. But when you get to a point of detachment, of letting go of a certain outcome, and letting go of your expectation to a certain outcome, I should say, the universe can give you anything. Because when we're not holding on so tightly to something and we open up our hand and say, I'll take whatever you want to give me, because I know and I believe and I trust that the best that you will bring me the best thing and it will not disappoint me. And that's where a lot of people don't have trust in spirituality. It's scarcity mentality and fear. They really don't feel that they're going to be handed the best thing for them. And a lot of people say, well, but see, in the past, I wasn't given the best thing. I did law of attraction. I did manifest. It's like, no, you were learning about it. But you got to keep going in your spiritual development, because everyone thinks that it's a magical genie. You rub the lamp, you put in your request, and it's like fast food. Here you go. Drive up to the second window. Here's your wish come true. And they think that it can happen. And for some people, it can. I'm not saying it's impossible for someone to get an instant manifestation, but what I am saying is that for most people, it doesn't work that way. Most people, you have to evolve spiritually before you get the best thing. That part is always left out in law of attraction and manifestation. They focus so much on just getting what you want through visualizing and acting as if you already have it, that, that it'll just come to you. They very rarely do I ever see or hear anyone talk about who you have to become to get those things. Because if you're not in energetic alignment or vibration to the thing you desire, you will never get that thing. You will get only something that is in alignment with your vibration. And a lot of people don't like to hear that, because a lot of the things that they manifest, they're like, well, I didn't like that. That person was this and that. And it's like, yeah. And unfortunately, that means that somewhere in your energy that existed in order for it to manifest or come into your life, or for that person to energetically be drawn to you. Now, whether or not you symptomize that the same way that person does is a different story. Fear, if you have fear, you will attract fear. If you have scarcity, you will attract scarcity. How you symptomize that fear or that scarcity may be different than someone else. Someone else who symptomizes fear, they might get angry and aggressive, punch holes in the wall, or even punch people. You may be scared, withdrawn, deer in the headlight, freeze, paralysis, anxiety attacks, and feel paralyzed, can't move. People symptomize things differently. And when we focus on the symptoms or the outward behavior, we misinterpret the underlying cause. And that's why trips people up about manifestation law of attraction. Because they think, that I couldn't have manifested that person into my life because they act totally different than me. Doesn't matter if they act differently than you. The energy behind that action is the same energy that's in you. Stop judging people on what they do on the outside. You have to understand that the external behavior is due to an internal cause. And that internal cause is due to a vibrational energetic match. So that's how that works. So hopefully this reading was helpful for you. If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate if you click the like, share, and subscribe button for me. Don't forget the links in the description box if you want to go check out the additional resources there. And let me know if this video was helpful. And in the future, I will do more like these. Maybe try to shorten them, or maybe play around with the way that I do them. This is really the first one I've ever done that's like this. So hopefully in the future I can, if you like the long ones, let me know. If you like the short ones, let me know. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate all of my viewers. Thank you so much for coming by. I will see you guys all very soon. Enjoy your 11/11 portal. And if you do meet, there was just a little orb that just flew by. I hope you guys saw that. If you do, which I think was confirmation, by the way, if you do hear from your twin flame, if you've been in separation and things do unfold for your twin flame, please come back and let me know in the comments. I want to know. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear if something incredible happens, and that lets me know as an energy reader that I'm picking up on the energies correctly, and it helps me to connect with you guys on what's going on in your life, so I can continue to do readings that are beneficial for you all. Okay. And I'm not on here just because I have got nothing better to do. I really want to contribute to you all. Okay. So with that being said, enough from me. I'll see you guys again soon on the next one. And as always, my friends, love and light.